Hello, welcome to my life in Spain. My name is Mark, and today I want to talk a little bit about something one of you asked me about in the questions, and that was my job when I used to work in Atlantic City. So I've got a good story to tell you. It's quite it's good, it's interesting. I hope you'll find it interesting. So if you're not interested in Spain, don't bother with the rest of this video, because I'm going to talk about the day I kicked the ass of a former world heavyweight boxing champion.
Can you paint me knocking out Larry Holmes?
Now, not literally, but I'll tell you what happened in a bit. Anyway, Larry Holmes, he lived in eastern Pennsylvania, which is, I guess, maybe a couple hours away from Atlantic City. And at the time, I was working in the Atlantic City Hilton. Now, Larry would come there, not very often, maybe once every week or 2 weeks or so. And he'd go in the high limit pit, the baccarat pit, and he'd play blackjack. Now, Larry was always nicely dressed, very well mannered, well behaved. I never heard him curse ever. And he'd come with his business manager / accountant. And the accountant would sit down on the couch at the side, and Larry would play blackjack. So what Larry would do was, like what most of the people in the high limit pit did, was play on credit. They had an account, and he'd say, like, you know, I'm not going to tell you how much Larry was spending or how much he was betting or what have you, but he'd say he'd start with give me X amount. Now, unlike a lot of professional boxers who make a lot of money when they're fighting, but when they stop fighting, they quickly burn through it, Larry was very smart. He had all kinds of businesses in his hometown of Eastern. He had, I think, a nightclub, 2 bars, some kind of restaurant, yeah, and a big office building. He had over 200 employees at one time. So like I say, he's always nicely dressed. And when he would come in, the first thing you notice about him was he was huge, but he had a small head. He kind of looked like a turtle without a shell. And I don't mean that in a bad way either, because he's, like I say, he was a very nice, polite man. But one thing you did notice about him were the size of his hands. His hands were the size of dinner plates. They were absolutely huge. I've never seen anybody with hands that big before. He could get a basketball and just pick it up like that with one hand, no problem, I'm sure. So anyway, he's playing. He's a good player. I mean, he knew basic strategy of blackjack very well. So he wasn't somebody who had no idea what they were doing. He knew to stay on 16. He knew to always double on 11. He knew to always split eights. So Larry played blackjack well. But this particular day, he wasn't doing very well. Now, everybody called Larry Champ. I used to call him Larry, and he called me Mark. And anyway, we got along fine. He was a nice man, like I say. And so I'm dealing to him. He loses after about half an hour. Get me another marker. He loses that. Get me another marker. I mean, he's thinking this can't go on like this forever. It's incredible. It's such a losing streak I'm on here. It's got to change around. So he gets another marker. He goes through that. And I'm saying, very unlucky, Larry. He says, yeah, I'm having a bad day, Mark. And anyway, so he gets his next marker. And he's got a big bet up. I deal Larry 2 face cards, so he's got 20. I've got a 4. I flip over my whole card, it's another 4. So I've got 8. I pull a card from the shoe, it's a 2, so I got 10. I pull another card from the shoe, 5, I got 15. So I pull another card from the shoe, it says 6, 21. Larry just went, he made a lucky little noise like, oh, like that. That was it. But he carried on, and then he got another marker. And then eventually he asked for a marker, and the business manager, accountant, got up, came over. He said, no, Larry, he says, we're done for today. That's enough. And Larry said, okay, thanks. Yep, we're done. We're done, Mark. I said, okay, Larry. He said, and Larry stood up and he says, you know something? There's only 2 people, pointed at me, he said, there's only 2 people who've ever kicked my ass. And I said, who's that, Larry? He said, Mike Tyson, and now you. And he left. And I think that's the last time I saw Larry. Anyway, hope you liked that little story. Like I say, nothing to do with Spain. My next video will be on Spain. This was just something somebody asked me for. So I hope you like it. Please subscribe. I'll catch you in my next video. Bye for now.